So we're now about halfway through April, which in years past, for me at least, has been a good time to start thinking about if I want anything new to wear for Pride events. To make sure that it gets shipped to me on time and everything. But I think we all recognize that Pride this year is going to look a little different. And we need to talk about that. One piece I think we need to talk about is the growing backlash against DEI programs and what it means for marginalized communities, including queer folks like us.
And on this journey, one more love unraveled. I finally learned to love me for me.
DEI stands for diversity, equity, and inclusion. These programs exist to create more accessible and welcoming spaces for people who've been systematically excluded in the past. People of color, disabled folks, LGBTQIA plus people, just to name a few. And while these programs were never perfect, they've helped challenge the status quo in education, in business, and in government. But lately we've seen DEI come under attack. Now that part's not anything new, but this time it's different because the attacks are working. Major organizations like Google, Target, and IBM have scaled back or outright eliminated their DEI efforts. IBM even claimed DEI created division, which is rich considering the actual problem is the power imbalance that DEI tries to address. Now, the Department of Education has dismantled its own DEI office in the process of it being dismantled itself, and we've seen an executive order from the Trump administration that outright bans DEI in federal government offices and contracts. These decisions aren't neutral. They're political. The Trump administration has long framed DEI as radical, wasteful, and un-American. But let's be clear. What's actually un-American is denying people equal access to opportunities. What's wasteful is spending decades upholding systems that gatekeep power. DEI is under attack not because it failed, but because it worked. Because it helped people, especially people like us, finally starting to get seen and heard. And I recognize that my audience that's watching this isn't necessarily only American. I recognize that there's people from all over the place. But here's the thing, it doesn't just affect Americans. You're still purchasing from some of these companies. You're still interacting with some of these companies. You should be aware of these issues as well. And on top of that, we appreciate your input. We appreciate your support. Things aren't going well here. We could really use that support. Now let's talk about the timing of all of this right now. Pride Month is right around the corner. And if years past were any indication, you know that probably means at least some form of rainbow capitalism is still going to be on its way. Because even if it means going against the Trump administration, they're still going to be chasing that mighty dollar. Now, every June, big companies slap rainbows on their logos, launch pride collections, and post vague statements like, "Love is love." For M&M's, Target, all of these companies, yes, the same Target that's actually cut their DEI programs that I just mentioned a little while ago, they all get in on the action. You've most likely seen the Pride display at Target every June. But once July hits, that all disappears. No more visibility, no more support, just marketing. Like we're the limited edition product. Once it's gone, it's gone. Earlier, I used the term rainbow capitalism. That's when corporations try to profit off the queer community without actually caring about us. And it's not just hollow, it can be really harmful. We see performative allyship, companies showing up in June and then ghosting us the rest of the year. We're going to see a lot of pandering, rainbow washing everything with zero substance behind it. It's going to be a lot of stereotyping, designs and messages that rely on really tired old cliches of what queerness is supposed to look like. And we'll see very false safe spaces. Branding that pretends to support us, while actual LGBTQIA+ employees and customers face discriminations behind the scenes. These same corporations will launch a rainbow line while cutting DEI departments, while donating to anti-LGBTQ+ politicians, while refusing to take a real stand on issues that affect our lives. This is nothing new. This happens every year. This year, they're even more brazen about it. They see an opportunity to cut those programs and they took it. But don't be surprised when they try to take your money too, in about a month and a half. This is why supporting actual queer creators matters so much. When you shop from someone in your community, you know what you're getting is real. There's no watered down identity filtered through a boardroom. Just authenticity. That authenticity is something I've always tried to bring into my work. Whether it's what I wear, the things that you see all behind me, the way I talk, the music that I choose, the things I write in my poetry, that's all me. I always try to bring myself. And I'm adding a new layer to that. As of a few days ago, I opened an online shop that you can access right now through my YouTube channel page. That's where I create designs that reflect me, not some version of queerness meant to appeal to shareholders. I've got a line inspired by 2000s emo scene, based on the actual shirts that I used to wear and love. Like I said, authenticity. I've always loved those shirts and the memories that came with them, and I wanted to bring back that aesthetic with my own spin. Don't believe me? Check out Teenage Patrick in this Cobra Starship one from 2009. That was at a Warped Tour after party at Denny's. What is up, Denny's? I've also got merch featuring lines from my poetry book, writing that reflects my experiences being an aromantic and asexual person in a world that often forgets that we exist and certainly tries to sweep us under the rug. These aren't hollow slogans. They're literally my lived experience. And then I'd like you to meet Vin, my emo aspec axolotl buddy who wears a pair of ace and arrow rings just like I do. Now the name Vin is actually pretty meaningful. It stands for visibility, something that our community desperately needs more of. It also sounds like Venn, like Venn diagram, a reminder of the intersectionality that many of us live with. It's also a nod to fellow aspec creators, especially Lynn Saga, who's done amazing work and has been such a great friend and inspiration to me. And yeah, Vin is clearly into music. The name shares the same letters with the word vinyl, and I picture them spinning Green Day, Paramore, Mayday Parade, Jack's Mannequin, Fall Out Boy, basically everything that would have been in my CD case in high school. Everything I create is rooted in authenticity, not some stereotype a corporate suit pulled from watching Will and Grace. And when you support queer creators like me, you don't have to worry about performativity, you don't have to worry about pandering, you don't have to worry about rainbow washing. You're supporting someone who lives this year-round. And that's why I've decided to commit to donating 20% of all profits from my store to It Gets Better every single month, not just during Pride, because activism does not take 11 months off of the year. I chose It Gets Better after spending time exploring their resources, not just because they're widely respected, but because of what they have to actually offer. As an educator, I especially felt impressed by the mindfulness-based mental health tools that they provided. They've got brain-based activities designed to help young people work through difficult emotions in healthy ways, which I know firsthand can make a massive difference. I found that they're also very inclusive in how they support our community. Their site doesn't just stop with feel-good messaging. They link directly to crisis hotlines like the Trevor Project and Trans Lifeline. And they offer dedicated resources for Black youth and youth of color. That level of intersectional support really matters. So if you're thinking about picking something up to celebrate Pride this year, I'd ask that you think twice before giving your money to a company that puts up a rainbow once a year and cuts its DEI programs behind the scenes. Support queer creators. Support queer-owned businesses. Support platforms that are actually helping people, not just profiting off them. Got any other queer creators, artists, designers, organizations that you would recommend? Drop them in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more. Also, be sure to check out my store on my YouTube channel page, and also check the description of this video for where you can get a copy of my book, Limitless, Poetry of an Aromantic and Asexual Journey. Thank you for listening. Thanks for being here. And thank you for supporting real people doing real work in our community. Stay proud. Stay you, because that authenticity matters. And as always, be good to others and to yourself. I'll see you in the next one.